working on Diplomat was very nice, very learning, quite a learning experience working with Shivam Nayyar sir. He's a very senior person, a very veteran. It's a privilege to work with him. In fact, the truth is that I was reluctant to do this part because I had just done this kind of similar part in IB 71. So I thought, and I've been trying away from doing parts which are kind of have their geographical location in Pakistan. So because quite some of the parts I've lately done, or lately with the parts which have gained a lot of popularity, have been from that part of the globe. So that was one of my reasons not to do this. But overall, he gave me a lot of freedom to do this part. And I said, because I want to make it different from the characters which I have done earlier. So that was very fulfilling that he gave me that freedom to create Malik in Diplomat as I wanted it to be. Of course, there were inputs from Shivam sir and other people, but uh, look wise or in mannerism, the characters, it was it was very fulfilling. You see, the roles are not similar. When some people also wrote recently in press, he does a lot of Pakistani part. But point is that if you see the role I've done of General Ziaul Haq in Mission Majnu, that's totally different from what I'm playing in The Diplomat. Or for that matter, if I'm playing some other part which is located, who lives in a certain geographical, that's what I earlier also said. That doesn't mean that the character is same. You have to really work hard to create a character because the story is different, the situations are different in many a times. So just because a person is from a certain place, likewise there are many actors who are doing a lot of parts which are basically in the zone of Bihar or UP, but then nobody tells them why they are doing it. It's just that because the characters are different, what you play. Sometimes you might be playing a politician, sometimes you're playing a thug, sometimes you're playing a cop. So every character is very much different. About the choices, I would say people only get to know about the roles, get to see the roles I'm doing, but they don't see how much I reject, how much I refuse of such parts. Because the problem with the Bollywood or film industry, Hindi film industry, is that if you do one part very good, then they flood you with same parts, which is it's quite a shame. But what can you do about it? You can only just refuse. But then what you do is, of course, you have to earn your. I'm being very honest. You have to earn your bread and butter. So what you do is then you pick and choose where you see a certain kind of a graph of the character, and you see that there is something to do in the script, and then you feel you're not just a prop in the film. So the production house is nice, the director is nice. So then there are multiple, and then sometimes your friends are doing, and they please mere le kar do. So it's like a lot of factors are involved in it. It's not only one factor which is there when you choose a part. But I should tell you that lately, before Diplomat, all my three other films which came, one was based in Mathura, one was based in Lucknow, one was based in Haridwar. But just because they were not big films in that sense, like Mai Ladega, Kaisi Ye Door, or Mandali. So if these parts had equally got that kind of a publicity, then people would not have said ki, or somebody would not say that ki, you're only playing such parts, or I'm playing Uttarakhandi Negi in Crime Beat on Z5. So I'm trying to make conscious choices. But what can I do? What can an actor do when the casting directors or the directors are not willing to risk things? Well, I won't call it even risk. It's just that they want to be in their comfort zone. So the casting directors also have a comfort zone. Directors also have a comfort zone. So I have refused very big films in last 2 3 years, even earlier, just because they were of the same genre or same something new. There was nothing new in it I could bring. So I said that will be a very boring experience. So sorry, I won't do them. Unfortunately, I'm in a position where I can. It's a, it's a, but well, there have been ups and downs. I won't lie to you or the listeners. But yes, it's very fulfilling because you learn every day. You can never, you are as, I often say, you are as good as your last show, you are as good as your last shot, because you have to again start from scratch. So you can never be arrogant about anything. You have to be humble and just carry on updating your skill set, updating your craft, constantly doing. I have not given up on theater. I've been just recently performed two plays. This month only I did two plays. I will launch, and I revived my solo show, Ek Mulakat Manto Se. So the whole endeavor is to constantly challenge your, artistic juices, artistic creative. You have to, kind of spread your creative palette somehow so that you can constantly upgrade your skills. But yes, you always feel hungry to do new parts. I'm sitting in Darbhanga right now and I'm doing a film, Rajni Ki Barat, and I'm playing an out cop from Bihar. So it's a nice challenge, and you're working on character, you're working on looks, and you when you see this film, you will not believe that this is the same person who has been playing uh, play certain kind of characters. And then, but the thing is that if this film gets a release, if this film gets same traction, if people don't get to watch the film, then they will say कि हाँ वो वाला रोल करते हैं, लेकिन जब बाकी देखेंगे तभी तो then only you can see the range of a person. But yes, when you talk about theater, it's about amplification, it's about economy. The camera acting is all about economy, understanding the medium, uh, which a lot of people, a lot of actors from theater struggle to do that because they tend to do things very loud. And cinema is all about how contained you can be, how controlled you can be, and that too in different lenses, different frame, different situations. So how you kind of there's a frame which is there. In theater, there's no in cinema there's close up, while in theater there is no close ups, and also a lot of people use mics and stuff in theater now. But then still you have to amplify. But the amplification is not only in voice but also in your gestures and things, because you're in a theater. In cinema, you don't have to put an extra effort to reach because you have mics and everything. So it's a very technical thing. It's a slight adjustment, I would say, which people have to do. But then understanding that adjustment is a challenge for a lot of people. A lot of people, especially I would say, a lot of actors struggle to um, economize in close-ups and very intense shots where you cannot be too loud. If I suddenly do this, it's too big on camera. So it's the same thing in long shot I might have done, but in when it comes closer, then you need to really understand that it's. But the truth of acting is there. Satvikta to wahi hai na. Believability is same whether you do theater or camera or films. And the truth of the moment is same. In theater, of course, you have to keep the concentration for longer duration, and there are no cuts. And films, as everybody knows, you might mess up a little bit, and then it might be cut, and second take will be fine. But then there is another challenge in camera that if you have done something, you have to sustain it constantly because you might have done one shot very nicely, but then when the second angle or then there might be a technical problem with the shot. So you have to get the same intensity again and again. So that's also a challenge. So theater is a riyaz. But when you do camera acting, although you need to have a concentration span is low because the shots you don't have to do a 1 hour act. It can be or it can be 4 minute scene, it can be 3 minute scene, it can be 1 minute small shots. But then you have to repeat the same thing again and again. And of course, depends on directors if they want every time something fresh. But once something is locked, then you have to stick to it, and that. Keeping the same intensity, same expressions, same continuities, that becomes a challenge, and keeping respecting the frame, or that becomes challenge for a lot of theater actors, and that's the only difference between theater and films. Otherwise, acting is acting. Is just the truth. Never, you cannot compromise with truth of acting. I have been, uh, I have been constantly fighting typecasting. I've been constantly speaking about it. If you see all my interviews, it has definitely been, raising a voice against typecastings. But then I am repeating myself, how much is in the hands of an actor? It's something which directors and casting directors especially have to understand, since casting directors have arrived in India now, that if you continuously give one actor same part, audience also gets bored of seeing them in those parts. They also want to see you in different parts. But as an actor, if I'm playing this similar, you know, characters who are similar zone, then obviously you have a bigger challenge actually, because somewhere if I'm playing a cop from Bihar, it becomes a challenge only in finding the dialect or accent, finding the accent and the body mannerisms. But then it's not difficult because it's suddenly हम कह रहे हैं ना आपसे क्या कर रहे हैं आप लोग, so suddenly it becomes very automatically people अरे यार it's very different, you look very different, what a character you did. But suddenly if I doing कि आप क्या कह रहे हैं हुजूर, मैं आपसे बोल रहा हूँ, अब आप क्या कह रहे हैं हुजूर, मैं आपसे क्या बोल रहा हूँ, or this kind of language which is little bit Hindustani or Urdu based. So suddenly people think, are similar hai. But if you pick up all the characters I have done, tell me one character with where they both look same, where they are same mannerisms, where of course the profession can be same. Somebody, if somebody is an intelligence head, but then there are multiple intelligence heads. Somebody is an army chief of army of Indian army chief. Tell me, all the army chiefs are same. Do they look similar? Do they speak similarly? Was late Vipin Rawat same as General Sundarjeet or Vaidya or anybody else who is there now? So everybody has a distinct character, distinct personality. So what depends on is how you characterize. That is important. But yes, of course, I agree that every actor who is out there wants to do multiple roles, different kind of roles. And it's not only about me. Just look at very, very prominent. I don't want to name them. Somebody has become a Don and they're playing Don. They're being offered only underworld gangster roles, because they have just played one part very good. Or somebody is a cop. Somebody is playing a Bihari politician. So they are constantly being offered Bihari politician or something in zone of Bihar. So that is very unfortunate. That's very sad, but that's the reality. And it's a shout out to all the casting directors. Please, please, for God's sake, don't kill actors. That's I would say. Don't kill careers and actors, because they tend to think that they make careers, but they somewhere also destroy careers, which is true. So they have to be told this. If nobody's telling me, I have been very blunt in speaking out, very humbly and very directly to them, that for God's sake, give opposites to what people know of a certain actor. Give them opposites. They are very interesting. And trust your actors. If a person is a good actor, they will pull it off. They will do their justice to it. But if you don't have courage, if you don't have risk taking ability, then what can we say? What can be said? I don't know. No, I've been saying this again. This is whatever I'm speaking today. I have spoken on multiple forums and in multiple interviews. Bollywood has not been able to do justice to Kashmir. I have often said that, because the films mostly have been one dimensional. There are multiple human stories there, and great stories. And such stories are there which can get you international acclaim. There's so much to explore in dark humor genre. There's so much to explore in human stories. There's so much to explore about uh, you know the inter-community relations. There's so much to explore, but it's up to and it's not that there aren't people are not writing about it. People are writing. I have heard multiple scripts which are very interesting, but are people willing to put money into them? That's the question. So everybody wants to have a terrorist, and everybody wants to have some kind of action, and then the jingoistic, slogans and stuff like that. But are people interested in having real stories and human stories? I don't know. I don't think so. Though there have been off and on sometimes films which have been very nicely, which who have portrayed the reality of the place in multiple different dimensions. So that is very important. There I have written many stories, but I'm trying to find producers for them, people who would like to invest in them, financiers. But it's been very hard going to every OTT platforms and saying that, look, this is a different film. This is a different Kashmir, but this is very different. So please have a look at it. Oh, it's very nice, very interesting, but we're not really think that it's the right time to make it. You know, there are multiple excuses they give you. So, so it's not that people are not thinking, people are not writing. It's just that भेड़ की चाल, that's what it's called, ना? So वो भेड़ की चाल चलती रहती है हर युग में. तो इसलिए once in a while you have to, but you have to keep doing your efforts and you have to keep knocking at the door. एक ना एक दिन तो दरवाजा खुलेगा या टूटेगा, गिरेगा. See, every part is a dream part for me in that sense. But yes, I've been manifesting comedy a lot, and that's fortunately in the current film Rajni Ki Barat. I'm in many scenes. I'm doing is sort of a situational comedy, so I'm quite happy about it because I've been teaching clown for 2 decades in India and outside India, clowning. So kind of humor and dealing a lot with humor in difficult situations, humor to I mean, exploring humor for a long time. So it's kind of one thing I would say that yes, I want to play out and out what you call psychotic, psycho characters, which are very darkest shades of you can find of human darkest shades, but then also playing absolute out and out comedy and fun. That's something which I'm looking at. Mostly people say that we look at you and then your eyes are very intense and stuff like that. But my eyes can be very funny as well, I know. So, so it's a comedy which, and good comedies I'm looking at. I love comedy films. I love to see great films which have been made in the past. So you always look for those kind of films, the Jaane Bhi Do Yaro, Golmaal, and Hera Pheri, and clean, nice comedies, Angur, and such kind of films who are really nice films. So I kind of am looking at that possibility to be part of such cinema.
So, what are the future projects that you're planning now, and something else you want to share?
Yeah, there are a couple of films are coming, but what's the point talking about them when until they don't come because how much the industry has been struggling to kind of showcase the work. Bringing a film out has become a challenge. If you want to put it on OTT, that's a different thing. But producers also have to recover their money. But audiences' tastes have changed. Audiences' preferences have changed. The behavior has changed. So somewhere I do agree with Amir Khan Saab that if you're putting a film out on OTT in 20 days or 1 month's time, and people are not going to go and watch the films in cinemas. So there has to be a gap. So people should know have to kind of they should say that नहीं यार अभी देख लेते हैं बाद में अभी 1 साल बाद आएगी 6 महीने बाद तो मजा नहीं रहेगा. So but everybody's out to make quick buck, and I can understand that everybody has put an investment, they want to get the money back. So but I would say that the films have which I'm doing currently is this Salahkar I'm done for I think it will be on Hotstar web series. So then there will be Rajni Ki Barat and some other projects are happening.